Welcome back to Ozarks Tonight. Well, an Ozarks man who spent nearly a decade behind bars is now suing the man he accuses of suppressing evidence that led him to be in prison for that duration. He's suing him in a civil case, and that will start tomorrow. Our David Oliver has been following the case of Brad Jennings for quite a while now. You know, David, what is going to be taking place tomorrow? What can people expect to see?
I'll tell you what's happening tomorrow. Then I want to kind of back up and kind of give you the history of this story. But tomorrow, basically, a civil case will begin in federal court here in Springfield involving Brad Jennings as the plaintiff. Sergeant Dan Nash of the Highway Patrol is the person who is being sued. So this goes back to Christmas Day 2006. That's when Brad Jennings' wife, Lisa Jennings, was found dead at their home just outside Buffalo in rural Dallas County. At that time, 3 agencies ruled her death to be a suicide. The Dallas County coroner, the prosecutor, and the sheriff's office all came in, looked at this case, and said Lisa Jennings committed suicide. It was a short time later that someone from Jennings' family, a sister, went to the Highway Patrol and said, you know, I don't think that this was a case of suicide. I think it was a case of something else, and convinced Sergeant Dan Nash of the Highway Patrol, an investigator, to reopen the case and look at the case and the evidence. He did so. The Highway Patrol then determined this was not a case of suicide, that it was in fact a case of murder. They based that on some blood splatter evidence at the scene, et cetera, et cetera. So Brad Jennings is then convicted of this, of second-degree murder. He's sentenced to 25 years in prison. He's sent off to Licking. End of the story, right? Well, a lot of people involved in this story have always thought there was something more to the story, something missing in this story, because he claimed his innocence from the very beginning. He said, I did not kill my wife. She committed suicide. Well, it was several years ago, 2016-ish, that one of Brad Jennings' attorneys at the time, and he's in Licking prison at this time, took it upon herself to go to the Highway Patrol and wanted to just look inside the boxes of evidence, the case files of the investigative work done by the Highway Patrol in this case. She's going through these boxes, just kind of looking at all the different things. Happens to find in that evidence a gunshot residue test that was performed on the robe that Brad Jennings was wearing the night of his wife's death. That test, the gunshot residue test, showed there was no gunshot residue on Brad Jennings' robe, which would indicate that he did not fire a gun the night that his wife died. Right. Lisa Jennings did have gunshot residue on herself, on her hand. So fast forward, you know, Brad Jennings' attorneys, they were shocked to see this evidence because this evidence was not given to his initial defense team. So they're alleging now that this was deliberate suppression of exculpatory evidence that may have made a huge difference in that initial trial that came about because the Highway Patrol reopened the case after it was ruled suicide. They called it murder. This evidence was never presented at trial. It was in a box. They just kind of happened on this evidence. And so that then brought it all full circle. They filed what's called a habeas corpus. That was heard in Texas County, Phelps County up in Raleigh in late 2017. And a judge ultimately said, this is exculpatory evidence. This evidence should have been presented at trial. That judge set aside Brad Jennings' murder conviction. Now, he was still charged, but his conviction was set aside, and he was granted bond, and he was released from prison on February 9th of 2018. I know I'm talking a lot, but there's a lot of moving parts to this story here. Right. And so then basically now we've come to the point, and the Attorney General's office could have refiled the charges against Brad Jennings. It decided not to in 2018 after another independent blood splatter expert for the state was hired by the state, came in and looked at the case and the evidence and said that that independent expert could not conclude that this was a case of murder. It looked more like a case of suicide. The state said we're not going to prosecute this. So basically, Brad Jennings is now a free man, and the murder charges that had still been filed are now wiped off the slate. So now you've got Brad Jennings filing what's a civil rights violation case, where it's going to be heard in federal court. We're going to start this tomorrow. They're going to have opening statements, jury selection in this case. It's being heard here at the federal courthouse in Springfield. No cameras allowed in the court. I'm going to be there for the opening day. And basically, they're suing Dan Nash for the alleged intentional suppression of that exculpatory evidence that may have made a huge difference in this conviction. And you know, he was in prison for 9.5 years for a crime now that he is not convicted of, and there were no charges refiled. So, you know, you can look at the evidence, and we're going to present all the sides to you. The state has always alleged or said its position. I've heard this in open court multiple times. This was an honest mistake. He just didn't know the results came in and didn't give the results over. We should mention Dan Nash, the investigator who's at the center of this civil case, did in fact order the gunshot residue test on the bathrobe. So he sent it off and said, I want this gunshot residue test done, but then he claims that he did not know the results came in.
So it'll pretty much come down to honest mistake on the part of Dan Nash by not seeing that this was in fact in the investigation file, or was this all intentional? Yeah,
I mean, there's going to be 9 jurors who will be seated in this trial. That's going to be happening tomorrow. They're going to question these potential jurors. This was a pretty high-profile case. A lot of folks locally have probably heard a lot about this. We did a lot of reporting on it here on our broadcast platforms, and it'll be up to those jurors to decide, was this willful or was it inadvertent? We should mention that both sides, whoever loses, can appeal. The state can, if the state loses, they can appeal. If Brad Jennings' team loses, they can appeal. It would then go to a circuit court, a federal circuit court. If whoever loses there wants to appeal, they can do that too. It then goes to the U.S. Supreme Court. Wouldn't that be something to see a local case involving alleged evidence suppression potentially go all the way to the U.S. Supreme Court? We'll have to wait and see.
We'll have to wait and see. And of course, we will be following this story as it continues, and we'll be having, you know, on air as well as online, being posting updates to this case as it goes on. David, thanks for being here.
Yeah, I'm going to be there, and we'll see what happens. It's going to be an interesting process to see unfold.
For sure. Yeah. We'll be back with more right after this.